everyone, Jamie Madison here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's card is going to be featuring the Hello Bluebird Pumpkin Time stamp set. This stamp set we decided to do a collaboration with Dawn Marie. So if you haven't checked out her channel, I will have it linked down below. She made an adorable card as well with the stamp set. Also for this card, I went ahead and brought out my favorite things. This is called Fall Friends. I needed a couple extra pumpkins for this card, so this one had two cute little pumpkins on here, so I went ahead and used those as well. Now to get started on this card, I'm going to go ahead and stamp these images down using my VersaFine and Onyx Black ink, and I'm using some Bristol Smooth Cardstock paper because, you guys, I'm bringing back out my Artezas today. I have missed these brush pens so much because I've been trying to practice with my Copics for a while now, and it's time to get back into my Artezas. I just love the watercolor brushes. So I went ahead and did some heat embossing with this VersaFine because this does take a while to dry, and I didn't want to sit there and wait forever for it to dry, so I went and just heat embossed it in clear. Also with the embossing and using the Artezas, it's going to keep that watercolor in the small areas that I need it to because this image does have a lot of small little details to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some music on here. I will list the Artezas in the left hand corner. There wasn't a whole lot that I used, and you guys can enjoy the watercolor. If not, you can skip forward. I did leave all the watercoloring in with this fox and his cart, so hopefully the video is not too super long for you guys. And I will see you in a minute. Alright, so now that we have our coloring complete on the fox and his cart, I did the pumpkins the same way that I did them in the cart. We're going to move on to the background. And I did leave everything for the background end as well. I had a couple people last time want to know how I did my backgrounds, so I went ahead and left it in, which is why this video is a tad bit longer. Now for the dyes that I'm using, the fence I'm using Pretty Pink Posh, that's called Picket Fence, and the grass is from Hello Bluebird. It's called Grassy Knolls dye, and I'm going to be starting with the grass first, and I'm going to just do some ink blending. Now the ink blending I'm using is Distress ink. I will have it listed in the left hand corner for you as well. I only use 2 colors per panel, so you're not going to have to, look for a whole bunch of different colors here. For the grass, I sort of messed up on my main panel, and you will see why here shortly, but I use the exact same colors that I'm using on this small panel here. Now moving on to the picket fence, I'm going to be using a brown, and then I go in to give it a little warmth, so I added some red at the very top. I thought it added just a nice fall theme because this card is for Thanksgiving and it is for a thankful kind of card idea. So I wanted to add something that gave it a little bit more of a warmth and not more of a winter snow kind of look. And I thought it really did a nice good touch for it. After I have my grass and my picket fence ink blended, I'm going to set those aside to dry for a little bit, and we're going to start working on the background for the clouds, and then you'll see how I messed up the grass here in a second. But it all works out in the end, so you just gotta deal with what you're handed. I'm going to bring in 3 colors for my background. I'm sticking with oranges, a little bit of a red there at the very end, and then I go in with a mahogany as well. For my stencil, I'm just using the Clouds stencil. I will have everything linked down below, so if you are ever interested, you can find it down below. And if I don't list something, please let me know in the comments or email me. I will get back to you very quickly. So I'm just going to take my Distress ink and I'm just working up. Now, never worry when you're using Bristol Smooth. It works so well with the Distress ink, you really can't mess this up. So you kind of just go in, and then if the lines seem a little harsh, just go back in and blend some more color. It'll be okay. It's supposed to look a little messy. Clouds aren't perfect, so you got to find a little sunshine everywhere. And what I normally do is I go in after I blend my clouds, because Distress ink kind of sits on top of Bristol Smooth. It kind of gives you a little bit longer to work with it. It doesn't like absorb right in. And what I like to do is after I have my cloud done, I go back in with my ink to kind of soften those lines, because clouds aren't going to be harsh unless there's a storm coming, which would be a really cool card. Let's make a stormy card. But yeah, so I went ahead and just did my ink blending, and then I went in for my grass. So the grass, like I said, we used those 2 green colors, and I just put that on a separate panel and I cut that out, because what I should have done was masked that bottom area and did my ink blending, but I got ahead of myself and forgot to mask it off. After I have that adhered, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my picket fence. Ignore the ink blended fingers, because ink blending can be very messy. We all know this. We all love it though. Then I went ahead and adhered my bottom grass die cut that we did earlier. I did trim it down just a tad bit. And don't worry, it was supposed to be that short because we're going to hide a couple little pumpkins behind it as well. Kind of gives it a little bit of a background, makes it more of a scene. Went ahead and popped my little fox up with some double foam tape. And I used my scan and cut with this, and sort of didn't realize that it cut a little bit of the wheel off on my fox. I'm not sure how that happened, but it did. But it's okay. We just made a little cut on it, and his wheel is good to go. I went ahead and adhered my pumpkins down. One I glued down, the other 2 I popped up with some foam tape, and then I just went ahead and added my other pumpkins and got started on the rest of my background. After I have all my pumpkins in place, I'm going to go ahead and stamp down some leaves that came in the stamp set with some Versamark, and I went ahead and already heat embossed a really cute sentiment. This sentiment is called Autumn is warm sweaters and falling leaves. I thought that was a perfect little sentiment for this card, especially with the leaves falling and the pumpkins and all that cuteness. I went ahead and adhered this on an A2 size card base and just took my white gel pen just to add some accents, bring that white into the card as well. I only did the accents at the very top of the card. They stopped at the picket fence, and then I added some gel on the fox as well. And that finishes up this cute card. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you next week with another fun card. Bye!